Hello everybody, Melissa from S.P.I.R.I.T here. We are out in Shingle Springs today, helping a really nice family just get to the bottom of some paranormal issues. We're not really sure exactly everything that's going on yet, but we'd like to get to the bottom of it and most of all find a way to resolve as much as we possibly can. As we know, with the spiritual, the paranormal, the supernatural, all that kind of stuff, there's no guarantees on anything, and there's sometimes a little bit of elusive energy that can be challenging to narrow down, but we are going to do everything in our power not only to narrow it down, but to find resolutions and also empower our clients to continue healing and continue the positive energy in the space. The reason we are here to basically do what I would consider an emergency blessing, and yes, we are going to use some equipment to figure out what tools to use in the blessing, is because there is a member of the senior community that is being very negatively affected. And for us, anytime any member of the vulnerable population is being impacted, whether that's a senior citizen or if that is children or if animals are being harmed and affected, we try to jump in and find methods of correcting it quickly, because the other side and also certain types of entities will take advantage of who they see weaker or vulnerable. I did have a very brief conversation with our clients before we started filming. As always, I come into these without any knowledge of what's going on, because I want to do a cold walkthrough. I do want to feel the energy of the house. I want to know what it has to say to me. What I did figure out and ask the client, I believe she is a sensitive, and she's been apparently having experiences for the majority of her life. So that would kind of lead me to believe that she's a beacon or a lighthouse to all kinds of things, good things, bad things, and everything in between. One of the things that I felt in this space was an older male that's trying to help and protect. This older gentleman, I'd put him, I don't know, 70s-ish, maybe. At least that's what he's showing me. He could have been older or younger, but he's giving me that like sort of physical look. He's kind of just shuffling around, kind of slow. He's just doing this little walk, and he's kind of tinkering and putzing around. He's quite stubborn about some things, very set in his ways and opinionated, possible military background. But he's just like, I'm trying to check things out. I'm patrolling, I'm protecting, I'm checking the doors. He means well. He's really trying to do his best to help. He says, I was kind of grouchy sometimes, but I could also be very loving. Like his personality feels that of, he wants to be a guardian. I think he might have drank a little bit at some point in his life. And something with the chest doesn't feel right with him. Something in the chest area is uncomfortable. There is something else in this. There's a lot of something. It feels like a train station. So I'm having a lot of trouble with the residual energy that's moving around very quickly throughout the entire space. Even when we arrived to the property, it just felt very busy and very overactive. But the residual energy, I'm not even going to worry about. That'll be washed out with a smudge. That's not hard to clear. There is another male energy that I can't nail down what time frame he is from at all. He does seem a bit dated, a bit old-fashioned, and aggressive. Not pleasant. This particular gentleman, he seems to have died of something of the abdominal area, either like liver, kidneys, intestines, something abdominal cavity took him down. A little bit younger, maybe 40s or 50s, and he seems very cantankerous and very angry and resentful. That he never got a fair shake is what he's saying. He never got what he wanted. So he's not pleasant at all. There is a female in the space that is extremely worried and anxious and a bit of an enabler. she keeps trying to fix everybody's problems, everybody's everything, letting people get away with things, fixing a lot of stuff. She's a little bit shorter. Her hair is pulled up in kind of some sort of way. I feel like she's wearing glasses. And she's a little bit of a nosy busybody, but you know, she's like, but I just want to help, and she's kind of wringing her hands, you know, doing the thing, and she's like, I just want to help, I just want to fix stuff, what can I fix, what can I do? For whatever reason, I feel like when I close my eyes, it's this weird feeling like I can only see through a pinhole and I can see small bits of something. I feel something cold, flat underneath me. It's very cold, but I can only see out of these little pinholes. It's so tiny. It's like my vision has been restricted to these tiny specks where they don't want me to see. They don't want me to see. I don't know if it's the spirits or what it is, or someone or something does not want me to see everything. And I just feel like I'm sitting on something very cold, and flat and hard. It's just so cold. So cold. And I feel I keep being stabbed. It's very uncomfortable. It's stabbing me. It's right. I keep being stabbed right about here. But they won't let me see. They won't let me see. Something is really restricting my ability to see whatever this is. They are very much restricting me. But it really hurts, like right in this part of the abdomen. It's extremely painful. There's almost an inability to breathe, as if I feel like I'm drowning. Like I've been, oh, that's uncomfortable. Like I've been immersed, and I'm suffocating. I feel like I'm in Jello, and I'm suffocating. I'm suffocating in gelatin. Yeah, that's a really weird sensation. I have no idea where that is at or what that's from, but now I'm getting a pain right in the sternum. They're hitting me right in the sternum, and wow, it hurts. So there's some weird physical sensations going on. Who is causing them? I really want to narrow down because it's very uncomfortable. I don't know if it's like a dark entity trying to play mind tricks on somebody's natural fears. But I think they're trying to bring up whatever they're doing, they're pinpointing the worst fears of the living. And it's a targeted thing. It's very targeted and very malicious. So I think we need to take a lot of readings because this is unusual. There is also...
That's the dog upstairs.
Yeah, it's not demons. It's people and dogs. There's a little kid that's running around here, almost like a child that didn't either died at a very young age or before birth or something. It was a very young child that passed at a very young age, and they're just playing. Sometimes they might knock things over accidentally or run into things. I'm wondering if some of the physical sensations that our client is having is not this little child trying to cling on for like help, and they don't know their own strength. It's not all that, but I think that's one layer of like the 17 billion layers that's going on here. I think that there is like a little young energy that's kind of clinging, sort of clinging on. So it's a very unusual sensation, to say the least. So I think that we're probably going to want to really dive deep into this living space first and foremost, because this seems to be the epicenter. But I definitely want to do some exploring in the other part of the house where the remainder of the family resides. Because I do believe that a lot of the things that are going on here, I mean, there's so many things going on here. It's not just what's happening down here.
I might be, this is Brent, behind the camera speaking. I might be interested in taking a few readings outside too, as well in the yard.
Yeah.
Yard, yeah.
Yeah, if we can get out there
You
before
got
it
out
gets
before sunset.
too
Yeah.
dark. It feels like I said, a full train station. I mean, it feels busy. I don't think all of them are active, though. I think a lot of them are residual, but it feels like it's a party in here. It feels like there's, like, like if you're really, really busy.
I can hear noises at night,
Yeah.
But I'm tired, I don't get up and check what's going on.
I mean, some stuff you can probably debunk.
They eat my food, they drink my drinks. She uses my clothes. I lose so much clothes because she keeps taking clothes
Oh, jeez.
and doesn't bring it back.
Well, apporting of objects is actually a real phenomenon. The other side will borrow stuff. So, I mean, and that's kind of what I found. If I'm missing something, I just ask them to bring it back.
I did.
And did they bring it back?
We wash it and I wear it again,
Oh, okay.
But
but you have to have this constant battle, like, hey, bring my stuff back.
Right.
yeah, I
Okay.
took stuff out of from packing because I'm repacking everything when I came here
Mm-hmm.
and put all the names and see how much is in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I take it out, put it in the drawer. Next day it's gone.
Oh, for Pete's sake. Well, we'll try to see if we can fix any of that. The other side has free will, as we all do, right? And so we'll have to try to talk to them and convince them to be more polite.
Move
Yeah,
out.
be
Yeah.
polite and go. Go somewhere else. Don't live here. But there are some friendly energies that are trying to help you in this space. And so I want to leave the good ones that are loving and protecting you, but I don't want these negative ones here.
I said, if you're that smart, why don't you help me with my problems I have?
Oh, yeah.
I said, why don't you come out and
Do something useful.
let's
Mhm.
talk. Be friends. But you're hiding, you're doing it behind my back once I fall asleep. And they poison my drink every night. They put me to sleep so I don't wake up.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Every night. They go into my body.
That's highly unacceptable.
It is.
So
That's-
I don't like that.
start with meters then.
Yeah, I think what we're going to do is we're going to get some meter readings first, just to get a baseline idea of what we're dealing with. And then we'll go from there. We'll figure it out. So
For me.
let's see how things go.
Absolutely.
We can figure this out.
Cool.
I love the dollhouses. Those are cute.
So these are the two dolls that.
This doll here and then the one in the little buggy over there are the...
She says she's captured it on her phone where it's, eyes are opening, closing, and moving, and mouth. Oh no, the mouth. I think the mouth was right. Mouth opening
And
and closing.
eventually, the whole thing is moving.
That-
All knickknacks.
Maybe we should leave a
Put a camera on it.
static cam on those two dolls.
You got it.
Just to see. I mean,
Let's do it.
why, that doesn't hurt. And you're right, that one there, even though it doesn't do anything, it is a little creepy.
Well, because of the age, maybe
That doll is 100 years old.
she had it restored. I mean, it looks much better now, but
Yeah, it has a vibe to it. Oh, yeah. Oh, look, that's a Barbie. I love Barbies. That's the only kind of doll I like. Well, the rest of them creep me out, man. Because there's this natural inclination to be very worried about, like, is some of this emotional or psychological? Is this some of this having to do with advanced age? Is, that's always the fear. People always worry about that kind of stuff, right? That could be a thing. It could be a factor. And of course it could be. And that's always one layer of this that, there could be just a little bit of, confusing information or confusing what's happening. That's always possible. But then there's both can be true scenario where, okay, maybe there's some health issues. Maybe there's this, whatever. But then there's a whole crap load of energy going on in a space too. And you collide those two together, and then you end up with somebody who just doesn't get any help because nobody listens. And, okay, so what if some of it can be debunked as this, and this? What about the things that can't be debunked?
Right.
What do you do about those things? When all of those things are cleared up, then whatever's left, then that's just, more for the medical professionals to deal with. But I need to remove some stuff out of this space. And because we're in a weird space, I think that when I smudge, we'll want to open that exit out to the garage.
That's fine.
Because I'm going to need the energy to exit out of the space. I have to have a smudging exit for stuff to go. That's extremely
And we need to
important.
make sure the smoke won't bother her too.
Yeah, we'll clear that, or just have her go be somewhere out.
Either way, yeah.
Not because I will be smudging later, and it can be kind of potent. So if you guys have any allergies or anything, you know, if you want
do a spray if we need to.
If you want to like excuse yourself from the space when I do the blessing, if it'll
it dissipates pretty fast.
It dissipates quickly, but yeah, if there's any asthma or allergy issues, you know, I just want to kind of note that. I'm trying to figure out, because I don't know how much is going on upstairs and how much I need to really bless or focus on upstairs. It really feels like the epicenter is here and it just leaks up a little bit. Like if you fix it here, it fixes it up there.
Interesting.
There's, it's all the same stuff. So if you chase it out, but I may still holy water up there.
Yep. I may
smudge.
We don't want to chase it up there and have it stay up there either.
Yeah, I may focus all of my like heavy energy down here and push hard, and then go up there and just do a light clearing to like tamp it back down. I think that might be the right recipe because they're all attracted to her.
Right.
That's the bottom line. My guess is that in this home, nobody had any experiences here before.
This doll's creeping me out, man.
I know, it's a little creepy.
I don't know why. I don't know why. It just has a weird energy. It has nothing to do with religion or anything like that. It's just
we need to.
It's like it's looking at me. I'm serious.
we do need to take some readings of these two dolls. What kind of paranormal activity do you think you had in this house prior to your mom moving in?
No, I think you'd have to talk to my daughter about that one. So I think she also carries that sensitivity.
Yeah, so she might have had some previous experiences just because and it does run in families. Especially down, the line, if it's all the females or all the males, or it kind of intersperses. Is she here? No, okay.
She's working till late.
Okay. Well, then if she's gifted, make sure she picks up some of those rocks off that list too and keeps them in her room, Get her to get some black tourmaline, get her to get some labradorite. Those will be two that'll be very helpful for protection. And get a couple of those and put it on your mom's headboard as well.
All right.
A friend of mine from Michigan's had something very specific to say about my daughter, and I can't remember exactly what. Something about a crystal child or something along that lines.
Okay. Yeah, like almost like
Indigo Child.
Or,
Was it Indigo Child? Yeah.
Something of that, right?
That makes sense to me, and yeah. People would have said the same thing about me as a young child. Just, you're a little weird, but in a good way, that you shine that light. So
the indigo children, there's a lot of different definitions of them. I think the most commonly accepted ones, it's a generation of gifted people. And sort of they're thought to be the people who are going to lead us into the next astrological age. Not that I'm big on astrology, but time is actually measured, and it's furthest out form, and its slowest form time is measured in astrological ages. That's simply the calendar that we use, and the Gregorian calendar is actually based on astrological ages. We're currently in the age of Pisces, and a lot of people think that we're in the age of Aquarius, but that would be the age of Aquarius is the next one, and people think that we're moving into the age of Aquarius. Now, some people think that happened in the 60s. Some people think that happened in the 90s. Some people think it hasn't happened yet.
It's hard to narrow down.
The last time what we do know about ages is when they begin, something significant happens. At the beginning of the age of Pisces, Jesus Christ was born. At the beginning of the age of Leo, which was before Pisces, at the beginning of the age of Leo, the Great Pyramids were built. And so
that's interesting.
And the age of Aries before that, nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
It was not recorded.
Okay.
So that's interesting. The mention of the indigo children, because that's directly connected with the age of Aquarius.
Popping.
Your ears are popping?
Sometimes when I touch an object, I can feel something out of it,
I have all kinds of...
The nightmares seem significant.
They're like a grape in my ears.
Yeah.
My head.
Dreams are not settled.
Let's get a camera on these dolls and then take some meters.
Sounds good. So I have a question. How young were you when you first feel like you saw an extraterrestrial?
Oh, alien. When I was in rehab.
So you hadn't had any alien experiences before then.
No,
And how old were you then?
that was a couple of years ago.
Oh, okay.
I was,
Oh,
but I was warned that there's somebody's hurting me.
okay.
And
It's so weird. Because
it's been
sometimes dark entities
it's been
will
hell.
pose
It's been hell
as
the last 5 years.
aliens. So it's not always just, I'm not saying it's aliens, yeah. But I mean, it's one of the things that sometimes like a really dark entity will act like something else to try to mask what they're doing. So I mean, it could be that, or it could be, could be either or, which is why we need to take a lot of readings, because I am really concerned about, especially if it's something trying to manipulate what you're thinking.
Yeah.
That worries me. That more malicious entities will make you think, oh, well, it's aliens. Oh, well, it's this. Oh, well.
Huh.
And sometimes they try to play like they're a nice spirit, but they're really not a nice spirit. They can play games, and they can kind of, that's why I felt that initial confusion, because something here wants to create confusion. Purposefully.
But I think there's one guy,
Mm-hmm.
he takes off ever so often. When he comes back, he drives me crazy because it gives me so much pain.
I think that's the much like
He
the
must be about middle age.
the one guy who I feel like is more like 1800s range in his look. That seems probably at 40 or 50 years of age. He's
Yeah.
very angry and aggressive, and I do think he's causing harm.
That's probably the one.
Okay.
I've seen him, but I don't know if he's the one he takes to.
Do you see him, like? Do you see what he's wearing, like any of his clothes? Because I see like dark, like a shirt, like almost a hat going on with him.
Yeah.
He just seems dirty. He seems like dirty. To me, anyway.
So there was one instance decades ago, if you want to hear about that, where
Yeah.
she was bedbound. She had just had surgery, couldn't get out of bed. She was home alone for a bit because my stepdad at the time was working, and I was going to school nearby at the university, so I came at lunch to see her. And she probably could tell you better than I can, but I came to lunch, and when I came in, she had thought I was already there with a group of people, because she was hearing a lot of voices like arguing or whatever, and she wanted to know who I brought with me. And I'm like, I didn't bring anybody. I just got here, And she's in bed, so she can't get up. She didn't greet me. I just come in my own, right? And she said somebody was there, and then
but that made you feel unsettled.
Well, yeah.
When he came, there was nobody coming. But in the meantime, there was this huge ball, all colors, coming through the door, through the room, out the window, and disappeared.
Oh.
Yeah, so she explained that to me, and I'm like, okay, Mom, you had some good drugs while you're on pain medication, whatever, you're in bed. So, that's what I'm thinking. And she's like, no, it pushed out, she had blinds on the window, pushed out the blinds, went out the window. I'm like, okay, so I went over to the window
Took
and
the
looked.
screen off.
The screen on the window, like the outer screen, was gone.
Oh.
And she lived in a mobile home, and there was just a small, maybe 12 feet behind there of yard. And then there was a really tall, I don't remember how tall, 6-8 foot fence
7-foot fence.
behind it.
Plus the dirt was going up like that.
So I looked out the window and I'm like, well, the screen's not there. I went outside, it's not in the backyard, it's not anywhere that I can see. I'm like, okay, well, I get up on the fence, I have to climb up and look over the fence. And it's like a really large field, like a schoolyard or something of that nature. And I'm looking in the yard and there's nobody there, but I see the screen 100 yards into this field. I'm like, whoa.
Well, that's odd.
Well, you tell me.
There was no wind. And
That's
I
super
didn't
weird.
do it.
Yeah,
yeah,
well,
she
no.
didn't get out of bed and throw it 100 yards into the
Even in good feeling condition, you probably can't do that. So.
So I had to go over the fence, go get it, bring it back, and it was, I think I remember it being, the frame being a little bit mangled from whatever went through it.
Jeez. That is,
So yeah, no, I couldn't explain
Oh,
that
I've
one.
seen in Michigan.
nah, you wouldn't be able to.
Ever
Maybe you could
very-
say if the screen got over the fence somehow, that maybe the kids were over there and they they took it and ran with it or whatever, then left it.
There
You know,
was
you could
nobody
maybe
there
explain
to
that, but
warn
how
us.
did it get there to begin with? You know, what pushed it out and knocked it into the over, you know, over a 12-foot span and over a fence, you know, a tornado, but there was no tornado.
Highly unusual. I'm gonna grab a couple
When I
of
was
these
in
too.
Michigan, I was living in a mobile home too,
Yeah.
and I was laying in bed, and there was this white ghost coming
Oh.
down the hallway, stopped on the door jamb, looked at me, and then it disappeared.
I'm getting cold spots and pressure hits.
There was the
Okay.
tambourine.
As I come
you
near
know
the
what
door.
a tambourine is?
Hmm.
The tambourine,
Mm-hmm.
you know what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. That came going in by the door and going across that. Like that.
I might want this somewhere
And then
else.
it disappeared.
Oh.
I've seen so many things, and
Well, yeah.
all these
You're.
kids from way back in time.
So
Yeah.
we're talking about decades. So you know,
Yeah.
yes, you
Sure.
can dismiss something's age or whatever,
But not all these experiences over time.
Yeah, over time,
That's
so-
that's the life of a sensitive.
Yeah.
Having all these paranormal and spiritual experiences for your whole life. To me, you're speaking my truth. You know, this is my life too. I have had countless supernatural experiences. So you're not all that. You're not that unusual, really, to me. You're pretty normal to me.
Well, they thought I was crazy.
Well,
Doctor said I
I
was
said, well, if
A
she's
lot of people
crazy,
think
then
that.
how is it you can have a normal conversation with her about everything else? It's not like she's lost her mind, you
No.
know. You
That
can
was
talk
me.
about anything, past, present, future, whatever. You can talk about movies, whatever. You can have a normal conversation. Then how is it that she's crazy? You know, that's the only thing that sounds out of normal because you don't understand it. You know, I don't understand it either, but I'm not going to dismiss it.
yeah.
Okay.
There's so many things we don't understand.
We need to get to work.
I know.
What the heck is setting off the seismometer? I'm standing here. That's weird.
Well, your voice can set it off, so just
Yeah, I'm wondering if that might be it.
so as long as you're not talking.
But I wasn't talking when it went off earlier.
All right. Then,
Oh gosh, you scared
Testing. Yeah, it hits a little bit to one on my voice.
I know I'm gonna pay for it.
I want to document that. That doll is setting off the seismometer. It's moving.
Oh gosh.
that's fucking creepy.
I'll get the Nikon on that.
Okay, go ahead.
We'll
And
document
see, and
that.
she's now having a lot of physical pain now that we're investigating it.
Yeah, it's attacking her.
You're getting a little bit of a hit on the triboelectric.
If you need to leave the room or something, you know, because it might follow you, but it might help. It's mad that we're here.
More tribo hits.
Okay.
I want to go take readings next to her as well, see what it's doing to her. Okay.
Alright, I need to document this. Boy.
You need to leave her alone. You need to back off. We're here to get answers and get help. You need to back off of this woman. She's a nice person, so you need to back off. Back off of her right now. You ever heard of altar dirt? I'm gonna put it on her and you're not gonna be able to touch her anymore. It hurts people. That really bothers me.
Or this doll, rather. In particular, there's one over here, too. There's also a concern, but this doll is setting off meters like crazy.
Yeah, I want to know why.
So, on this doll,
Are you hanging out here? You sensing something?
Hi, puppy. Hi.
look at that. 4 microteslas on a doll. And it's not the...
That's not normal.
That's not the meter. I'll take the meter out of the... That's just beeping because I'm in front of it. That's fine, but take the meter so that we're not going to say that it's the eddy meter that's setting off. This religious doll.
Well, it's not even necessarily religious.
Yeah, I'd say it is.
She's just wearing a little knitted outfit.
It's setting off 4 microteslas, and interestingly, I want to back off here.
So she made the whole
Look at
outfit?
that. Look at that.
Okay.
Look at that. I should be documenting that, huh?
She says he knows something's going on down here all the time when he comes down.
Yeah, dogs are very sensitive, very gifted.
That's pretty interesting. I wanna select for.
And she made the outfit for that doll.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay, we're negative on microwave radiation, which is a good
That's
thing.
good.
That's a
Yeah,
good thing.
that's comforting.
Let me check for.
Actually, can't say.
And we're interestingly we're negative on static.
Shut my phone.
So don't tell me it's static, debunkers. Static is set. Static is zero. This thing's giving off electromagnetic energy, and it's a doll.
I can't do it.
Any of these dolls have electronic innards?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. They don't look the type. Let's just stop talking for a second. I wanna capture this thing setting off the geophone. They call it a geophone. What it really is a seismometer. What was that? Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
The
I think I'll be blessing that doll.
the tear got set off on it. Now it's not setting off the seismometer anymore. There it goes. Look at that.
It's shaking.
Nobody. It's not the dog either. Dog's not setting off the seismometer. If it got up on the bed, sure, but
Not on a concrete floor.
Yeah.
no.
That's really odd. Do you want to scan the other doll with the tri-field?
You can do that. I just want to document this for a second. If that's an entity touching that doll, can you let us know? Could you let us know you're here by touching it a little bit firmer, make the doll move?
They're using it every night. And I keep telling them, don't touch my dolls.
Yeah, they are touching them. I mean, we can verify that, but I can't visibly see the doll moving, but it's setting off the seismometer. It's imperceptibly.
Well, she was
Something's
in the
touching it.
hospital
Yeah.
About a week ago, I took her out. But the other one is always been up.
Mm-hmm. That was just so weird.
I've seen them crying, the dogs.
Really?
Actually, tears coming down.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
that's funny she said that, because I had that perception of that doll
I
crying
heard you
out of
say
its
that.
right eye. I had that perception, like it almost looks
Really?
like it almost looks like it's crying. That's what I was thinking to myself.
What?
I didn't say it, but
You did say it. I heard you.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
And I know she's told me that before, so when you said that, I was like, oh.
wow.
It's a thing.
Okay, so I did say that. What this doll? I'm not liking.
It's a little disturbing.
I'm not liking this doll.
I'm gonna bless it to try to neutralize
In
the
the
energy.
beginning, I got scared when I saw everything moving, you know.
Well, yeah.
And I
Yeah, it's
put
not
them all
okay.
in a box and put them in a glass.
So these have been her pride and joy for.
But then I said, why would I have to do that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I want my dolls out.
Yeah,
And it's not the doll itself that's the problem.
hopefully.
Well, the doll itself isn't the problem. It's something affecting the doll, which we can hopefully correct.
Yeah, this one has some energy too, but less, and that's exactly how I feel about it. Like it's
No, I
creepy.
haven't
Mel, are you
seen
listening?
anything.
Yeah, I'm listening.
I'm getting 2 microteslas off of that, which is just above background.
I
So-
just have those.
So those maybe aren't
Anniversary
following
one,
you
eh?
here. So down in Bakersfield, she
She had
had.
there's a lot going on. That's why it's a lot happening right here.
Yeah, they're there.
I'm not
I,
as concerned
I get
as-
the chills every time I talk about it.
Let's get the Mel-Meter on this.
Yeah, the elf meter would be good. Does not detect elves. It detects extremely low frequencies. Hey, yo, puppy. It's okay. It's okay.
He knows. He knows. The dog knows. He smells everywhere.
Is there any
Really doesn't come down here.
He wants to be an investigator too.
Well, he's very curious, of course, but
You know, animals can see and feel stuff.
he
So
doesn't hang out down here on a regular basis.
I don't know.
if it's interdimensional being type of energy, then they could just pop it in and pop it out.
They
And
just,
they can just take it.
But that's what she says. They're taking her stuff all the time.
That's what.
I mean,
Yeah.
it can happen. I mean, apporting is a spiritual phenomenon people talk about where, you know, an object will disappear for a while. You ask them to bring it back, it comes back. It has been documented as something that does occur. What happened?
Jumped up to 400 on radio frequencies. On the doll, yes.
On the doll?
That's me. That's
I'll flip it to you that way for a second.
yeah. Change from Mel-Gas to microcrystals because it's not giving off any Mel-Gas.
Okay.
What does that mean?
The doll is giving off energy.
Really?
Uh-huh.
And setting off a
You're always playing
seismometer.
with it.
Yeah, and that would make sense.
When I'm not here, when I'm sleeping,
I'm wondering if that little child soul that I felt
I can tell the way I
likes to
set
play
it
with
down.
it.
I know exactly where I set it down, and it's not the same when they put it back. They think they can fool me, but they don't. They get busy when I go.
I'm getting background RF gain, which is probably from an internet router, but I had to jump up to 400.
You should taste.
We are getting a cold spot on the.
Just taste it, how bitter it is. Because if I have
on the tier.
like that, it shouldn't be bitter, you know. But it's always bitter.
825.
800.
That's not normal.
Unless we're getting spike, is your cell phone off?
Maybe they're sitting behind
And
there.
it can't.
Well, we got one right there. My mom's right there.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be jumping around like that on the doll. 122 seems to be the background from the router. I go 20 or 30 in any direction, but my cell phone's on airplane. Putting 800, no.
It's like they're hiding.
Yeah, that's just
907, and I caught that.
And I'm on airplane.
Yeah, 907 milliwatts.
Is it identifying anything?
Per centimeter squared. No, it doesn't know what it is.
Yeah.
It can't identify the source.
Yeah, if it was like Wi-Fi or something, it would say.
It would.
I know they sit on the bed when I'm sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't know what it is.
I wouldn't be surprised.
And we just went
do.
to, now it's giving off microtussles out of nowhere.
Yeah, no, that's, we're stepping into a different realm spiritually with that. There's something different there.
They use my phones, they use my...
Oh, those things have electromagnetic energy, so that's energy that they can use to manifest in the physical world.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Oh gosh, oh yeah, leaky.
We got cameras on you. Give me some numbers. Oh my God! Right when I said that, it went to 556.
That might come on.
811.
That smacks
You're
more of
You're right.
actual spirits to me. Hey, puppy dog. Hi, puppy dog.
Hey, Nimrod. I get to call him that because that's his name. Just to see where I'm holding this, so people can see where I'm holding this meter.
Nice.
Client claims doll moves by itself. And with these readings, I don't doubt it. And it's setting off a seismometer. I mean, that you cannot explain that.
Okay, I would like to... Here, let me in here, babe.
Yep.
Back up a little bit. I just want to... Seeing what she's made of. Just like a hard material.
It's one of those,
Like very, almost like...
to simulate what a real child would look like.
Yeah, it's just very hard material and some like squishy stuff.
She got one for my daughter. I think that's the same brand. My daughter goes, she put it away.
Yeah, I don't like you handling that doll. An orb flew out of its head when you picked it up. I don't want you handling that doll.
Well,
Not without grounding, anyways.
I grounded, that's why I bubbled. And, you know.
I think we got that on full spectrum. The only reason I know that is I was watching the full spectrum screen when you picked it up.
I come prepared, dear.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's good. I won't need that today. I can keep it the full spectrum on it. I don't have an electrical cord for the full spectrum, so when its battery's out, it's battery's out. But I do have the Samsung on continuous.
All right, I think we'll be all right.
Yeah.
I think we'll be all right.
Crazy. I mean, 500 cases. I've never seen a doll move by itself. So if we get that on film, that'll put you in the landmark case territory.
I will be blessing both of those dolls. And probably the 100-year-old one,
This one's
too.
not bothering me as much, and like I got 2 microteslas on it.
Yeah, but it still needs to be blessed because it could transfer to that, too.
Oh,
so.
yeah. I mean, there's a tether here.
I'm just going to bless all of this. All of this. I'm just getting a good
Yes,
heavy
I'm really not
blessing.
getting anything on the elf on it.
Get a little closer.
I went to 200, but...
That's unusual.
Well, you got to understand, background's 122. We're getting 122 from the internet router. So that's okay. And even a jump up to 200 doesn't bother me too much. But 900's a different story. So I mean, yeah, definitely bless it. But and that was not that I'm like gifted or anything, but that was sort of my take on it. That one was creeping me out. This one didn't bother me.
Mm-hmm. That one's looking through you.
Yeah, it's like it's alive. I'm a scientific person. I don't creep out about dolls, and this doll creeps me out. I'm just saying. I want to do a Geiger counter sweep. Anything.
I think you need to do it in here.
Yeah, well, that's for sure. That's the first. That's why I brought two. I have 2 meters that sweep in 2 different ranges. One does micro Roentgens and one does Roentgens. Mm-hmm. And I'm probably mispronouncing that because I'm not a nuclear physicist. but I want to. If we get any readings at all on those meters, that's a cause for concern.
Okay. Yeah, it is.
Your basement shouldn't be giving off gamma radiation. So we'll do that, and then I wouldn't mind doing it outside. If there has been extraterrestrial activity, the one thing they can never get away from is they always leave a gamma ray signature. If a UFO has been anywhere near this house, there's going to be a gamma ray signature somewhere in this house or somewhere outside.
Well, give it a whirl.
Yeah, that's the one thing they can't hide from. It's been documented too many times. We normally don't bring these. I almost never need them. Contrary to popular. Well, we don't really do UFOs, but sometimes if it's part of the paranormal case, yeah, we will absolutely check for it. Yeah, not a whole lot we can do, but you do have some rocks that help with that.
I have a list. That's what I came with.
Okay.
That whole laundry list of buy these and it will help because they do help. They have a vibration, especially the moldavite. I don't have enough moldavite. It's a hard one to get. Moldavite is great though for keeping away interdimensional beings.
Yeah, we have to use this, so you have to expose the inner rod, and then that's the sensor. Don't worry, it's not radioactive or anything. It's a radioactive detector. That's its level of sensitivity, but just moving it on X1 can cause the meter, so you can get false reads on X1. Additional level, that's powers of the sensitivity. Now if it starts popping, that means it's dangerous. There you go. Let's just go walk around.
I gotta tell you, I really don't want you to find anything.
Right. Seriously. Anything under 0.1 I'm not worried about. That could just be the meter, plus or minus. Pretty much nothing.
So this is the
Nothing significant.
Geiger counter, which is not
So it's
going off.
It's on its least sensitive settings. So if we get a setting on this, if we get a hit on this, it's kind of a cause for concern. I'll go to the most sensitive setting, and false reads on that are not uncommon. I suppose we should check her.
Yes, you should. Actually. Nothing?
On the setting.
Oh, that's
What
good.
do you, with the aliens, what do you experience them? Like when you're in bed?
The first time I saw them, they took pictures.
Okay. Where did they come from? Was it down here?
No, I was in Bakersfield.
Oh, okay. Well, have you experienced them here?
Yeah, here I didn't see him, but those little animals are on my feet every night.
Gotcha. So let's try the
But,
foot of the bed then. Okay. Go ahead.
Down there, I could see him.
Yes, they're grabbing at her legs, like, and
But I
also,
get the pain enough.
and kind of come up to where like leg level would be,
Leg
like
level.
up in here too a
He
little
drinks
bit.
Yeah.
coffee. Somebody drinks coffee because he's into the sugar. He uses a lot of sugar.
Maybe they just like sugar. You know, oddly enough, it's not the first time I've heard that claim about the extraterrestrials that they like sugar. Whitley Strieber says that.
Really?
Yeah.
They love candies. If I
That's
have candies,
interesting.
I eat my candies.
Apparently they do
Something
like
I ain't never heard
Cookies
before.
to eat my cookies. Whatever I have, they
Hello,
take.
puppy.
They don't ask.
And I think, okay, Mom, you're just getting up and doing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, well, and here's the thing: is that I wonder and I worry that it's not the mixture of both types of things, like spirit energy and entities,
They're
and this
into-
interdimensional entity
they're
type of
into
problem.
everything.
It's some of the stuff being moved or taken could be one or the other.
Well, she thinks they're doing experiments on her, so she's described being given shots and
Yeah, that is not good.
This might show us where we want to. I'm on X1 now, so.
Those shots that they give me,
Mhm.
they're so painful. It's like they're shooting it from a mile away, and they hurt and they burn, and they get itchy,
Yeah.
and they last forever. I have a whole bunch of them on my knees, and that knee, and my thighs,
Yeah.
and my heels.
Oh,
It's just awful what they do.
Well, the doll's not giving off gamma radiation. That's
thank
There's one
God.
here, one
That's
on this
something.
side.
I get just slight, not enough, not even 0.1.
Mm-hmm.
Just very, very slightly moving the needle at the foot of the bed. Whoa.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay, this is where I got a hit before. That went to about 0.05, which is still, it's minute.
I can see him going by there,
Not 0.5, but 0.05.
shadows,
Yeah. You see the shadow figures.
Right here,
moving?
right here, right here.
And sometimes they touch me in the back.
Mhm.
If I lay, they touch
I'm not
me
giving off
some-
gamma radiation, am I?
Ha! I don't know.
Maybe.
Make sure I'm not.
My titanium does.
If I
Yep.
doze off,
Make sure you're not.
they touch me. So
you went to 0.1. So
Fantastic.
you went to 0.1. You're giving off gamma radiation, but I am on X1, so I mean and 0.1's negligible.
But I'm weird.
Yeah, you are weird there. Not entirely human.
Damn it.
Sometimes, or so I think sometimes. All right, let me do the more precise meter and the milliroentgens sweep, and I wouldn't mind doing a sweep outside, but I don't know if we're gonna have the sunlight for it.
And the problem with it potentially being like the spiritual, the ghost stuff, I could fix those. Any negative entities, negative energies, I can remove them. I can't stop aliens.
Yeah, that's what we talked about on the phone. I'm like, so what do you do if it is?
What I can do is suggest a variety of things, including a couple of those crystals, like I gave you on the list. Moldavite is one of the biggest ones that for some reason interdimensional beings don't care for. So if you find a nice good piece of Moldavite and put it right on the headboard, that'll help. There's also, honestly, what my mentor Amy Allen recommends a lot of the time is support groups for abductees. Talk to other people who have had those experiences, and then you find the commonalities, and you at least don't feel alone anymore. And you can
So
be,
we are getting
you can be
micro-ridges
you can be
here.
heard.
leave me alone, not
Well,
me all the time.
that is something that unfortunately, because they are not a ghost or a spirit or a demonic entity, I can't make them go away. I can give you tools, I can give you information, and I can bless you to make your vibration a little higher that maybe they won't be attracted to it. But when it comes to aliens or interdimensional beings,
They're all
the-
over, aren't they?
they're a completely different animal
Hey,
than
let me
than
have the
ghosts.
camera or if you want to record.
They have a ball when I'm sleeping.
See if it goes down if I go up the
And-
stairs.
And those might, the ones that are having all the big loud parties, those might be the spirits. And those I can fix. Those I
Okay.
can do something about.
So if this goes, so that we understand what we're looking at, that is milliroentgens per hour. This is microentgens per hour. So that means that if it pegs all the way to 50, it's equal to only 0.05 on the other meter at its most sensitive setting.
Okay.
So this is not anything to be alarmed about as far as gamma radiation. That would hurt us, or it could, on long term, could cause stuff like headaches. It's not going to cause cancer or radiation sickness or anything like that. It's way, 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 way too low for anything like that. What this measures is what we would call a gamma radiation signature. So
Okay.
it picks up where gamma radiation was, not
Okay.
gamma radiation. The other meter picks up actual gamma radiation.
This is more of the
This
residual.
picks up the echo of gamma
Okay.
radiation,
Okay.
and what we call micro, and it is picking up about a steady 15 to 20, and this entire basement then goes down to 10 if you go to the door. So if you go to the door, it starts to go down to 10, but we're getting 15 to 20, spiking to 20 about microentgens per hour, which is this entire basement has had some level of gamma radiation. Not enough to cause harm, not enough to cause sickness, not enough to cause cancer or anything like that, but a minute level that's equal to about 0.05 milliroentgens, so pretty negligible.
Okay.
But it should be zero. This meter should be reading 0. And I do have it on its most sensitive. It's reading at about 15. This one has a light.
I'm struggling with it. My vision's not that good either.
Can't work anymore.
Okay.
It's
pretty interesting.
That is interesting.
You know, I can drop it down to 50 and it's still going off. So that might even be a more accurate
Okay.
reading.
And I did see a girl, though. This little girl, she was all dressed in green. She was pretty.
The only time to be concerned with these meters is so if you start to hear it going pop, 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 pop like popcorn, that's bad.
Yeah.
But as long as you don't hear that, it's okay.
So you have seen a child entity down here?
Yeah,
How old would you say?
I don't know, she was about 6 or something.
Okay.
I only saw her for a short minute. And I saw the woman
Mm-hmm.
not too long ago. I saw her. She was standing at the end of my bed, not here, but in Bakersfield.
Okay.
And I woke up and I looked up and I saw
Spikes,
that.
right.
I thought first it was my
20 right here. Spikes right where the other meter did.
Okay.
Right here.
When she saw me, that I see her.
Right there. It's spiking
I
right in
was
here.
out right away.
That's
Back out
unusual.
again.
20 right there.
So how about when you get closer to the floor?
Surprise, I think.
Good question. I tried that with the other meter. It doesn't really seem to affect it. It actually is going up to 20.
But it wasn't Sherry because I asked Sherry, were you in my room at that time? She said no.
You wouldn't be getting spikes at the foot of the bed if it was a uranium deposit, and we're too low for uranium deposits. Shingle Springs is too low altitude for uranium deposits. You really need to be up where the granite is coming out of the ground to get uranium deposits. That's the way they form. They form inside the granite nodules. So
So put it on her bed.
yeah, so you really have to be probably at least 4,000 feet elevation to be seeing uranium deposits under the house. So I really don't think it's that, not a Shingle Springs. What's your elevation here? Do you know, about 1,000?
16.
Okay, 16, yeah. That's way too low for uranium deposits.
Where was that one where we did get the uranium?
That was up in the mountains.
Was that Pollock Pines or?
I think it was above that. It was one of those, Meadow Vista, or one of those small towns above Pollock Pines.
Okay.
It was one of those. Well, I think it was Meadow Vista.
Okay.
Let's see if I can get it to spike to
Spike
20 on the 50 setting. That'd be interesting. It goes really. It should not be spiking anywhere.
No, it shouldn't.
It's spiking right here at the corner of the bed, like something was sitting here watching her.
And that's something. It's a claim that she says that they sit at the edge of her bed.
Yeah, they're all around my bed. They're not sleeping. I've seen
25.
and the pictures.
25 microentgens. That's well above background. In 20 to 25 microentgens per hour, right here, which is
She-
well above background.
Like I said.
And it matches the claim of she says they stand by her bed or sit at the edge of her
It
bed.
matches the claim.
Yeah, when she's
And
sleeping.
all the meters are going off, and so it's the layered approach. We got the other meter that measures in milliengines per hour. This is microengines per hour. We got EMF going off on the bed. We got EMF at this spot here, and we've got radio frequencies going off here. We've got this doll giving off giving off all sorts of energy. It's the layered approach. We're getting multiple meters telling us that there's energy at the corner of this bed and in that doll. And something left that energy here. It's not normal. And I would say scientifically, 1,600 feet altitude is too low to get any kind of significant uranium deposit under the house. I would rule that out. You have to be at least 4,000 feet elevation, maybe 35, but you got to be up into the granite. You got to be up into the granite in order for you to get uranium deposit. Uranium does not form in soil like this. It forms in granite. So it's not a uranium deposit that's causing this. We're too low for that.
There's more serpentine rock here.
Yeah. Very strange.
Taking a 25.
All right, puppy dog. What do you think of all this nonsense? do you see
What
them
do you
too?
think? What do you think, Nimrod?
And
I'm gonna have fun with that
and
all
that's
night.
not an insult. That is the dog's name.
That is the best. That is the best name. I get to call the dog a Nimrod all night.
What do you think about it?
All right, well, this is
Do you
probably
see them?
we can go audio off,
Does you see them?
but
Yeah.
that's pretty interesting. Identified a problem areas, which is mostly right in here, and the dolls for sure.
Yeah. Should we take just a quick pass through the upper floor?
That's fine.
Just to
Do
feel.
you want to do Geiger counters up there?
I don't think. No, I think the Geiger issue is down here.
Yeah, for sure.
So here, do you want this?
Yeah. Now, if we were, I would be sort of singing a different tune if we were at 3,800 feet. I'd sort of be singing a different tune and say this is probably natural. It has to be because the readings are too high. It can't be natural. We're way too low for that. So something is causing this, and and it wouldn't be spiking. If you remember,
that's the very unusual.
if you remember
part.
I think if it was Meta Vista, if you remember the Meta Vista case, the only place that we got readings on the Geiger counter was the garage, and it was unilateral. It was the same reading because they had a uranium deposit under the garage. I told them to line their garage with a lead floor liner. No problem. Well, problem goes away. It's not the case here. What's beeping? Oh, the dog's beeping.
The dog was jingling.
Interesting.
Jingling? Yeah. Yeah, go puppy.
Good news is we don't think you're crazy at all.
Hi, babies.
This is bad news is you're not crazy at all.
Good and bad all at once. Oh
I
boy.
just wish they would leave me alone.
I
Yeah.
wish they would
We're
too.
gonna try.
I wish they would too.
We're
And we're gonna
see
try
what
to
we
help.
can do to make that happen.
Because they're taking my space in bed
Mm-hmm.
with those animals at my feet.
They're invading your territory. The spiritual ones
It's
I
heavy
can
and it
remove.
gets too hot and
I can remove right away, but the other energies might take a little more, a little extra effort. I'm so sorry you're enduring this.
Yeah, it's not right.
To me, it's completely unacceptable that you have to live like this. And you know, there are some things I can't even begin to understand why they happen, and why they happen to really nice people. But I will alleviate as much of it as possible.
I didn't do anybody.
Well, no, and it's not anything about karma or bad luck or it's not.
They just picked you.
You just you won the unlucky lottery on the interdimensional being highway or whatever. It's, when it comes to the ghosts, the spirits, that's because you're gifted, you're a lighthouse. But oftentimes I have found people who are spiritually sensitive are also victims of alien activity too.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that is. It must be something to do with your energy field, but I have found that to be true in a few cases.
Well,
So
I think they are aliens.
yeah,
Well,
not everything here is,
Invisible.
but some of them are.
it's such
yeah,
a
I think.
hodgepodge now.
It's a mess of energy. It's like a goulash.
Now, so in your opinion, with the spirits that you are feeling here, if we do a full smudge upstairs and downstairs, we bless these two dolls, and we do you do a full cleansing of the house. I don't know about anchoring the property, probably not necessary here,
That's not
but
going to help.
yeah, it's not gonna. It's not. It's
And,
don't want to keep
she's
them
too
in.
gifted that things are still going to find her spiritually.
Right. Well, that was my question. Is she left with only the extraterrestrials if we do all that?
No, because spiritual energy, like
We're gonna find her.
we'll find her because of the.
So you need to get her the grounding document so that
Yeah.
she knows how to ground, knows how to protect herself, psychic
Yeah.
protection, that kind of thing.
I would say that we could eliminate 70% of the activity and reboot, and
Okay.
then some of it won't come back. Your positive protectors are going to stay. Because you do have an older gentleman protecting you.
Yeah,
Like
and you want them
he
to.
seems like a stubborn but really nice older guy. He seems to be protecting you. So we'll leave him be. He's helpful. The little child spirit, I don't think she's hurting anybody. I think she's just playing. She might play with the toys. She's not a problem. The more
Does
negative.
he have a beard?
The one
With a
nice
head?
with the older the nice guy.
Yeah.
I can't see him as clearly as I'd like to. He may have had facial hair at some point in his life, but I can't see him very clearly. The one I can see clearer is the negative younger male, and he just seems like dirty and dusty and filthy to me.
Wait a minute.
So I can get rid of him because he seems like he attacks you in a different way than the other beings attack you. He seems like he like bullies you and like pokes and prods at you in like a almost a predatory way. Now, so I can get rid of him.
No, I want you to see this.
But I would like to I'd like to work on the other layers of the other energies too, but I'm not going to be able to get rid of everybody, but hopefully almost there.
Maybe it was just an angle thing. Battery's about dead.
Okay. Well,
Tell me those aren't fingerprints on its hair.
I don't know. We'll have to see that on a bigger screen.
Yeah, tell me those aren't fingerprints.
I mean, it could just be the lighting.
Yeah, it could be.